A very happy morning to one and all. On behalf of Vivekananda School of Engineering and Technology, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to the Seeds of Hope in Action exhibition. This exhibition aims to introduce a positive vision for sustainable living and help us realize the Sustainable Development Goals. There are 17 interconnected SDGs such as inequality, poverty, climate change, environmental degradation, peace, and justice. And together, we should work to overcome these global challenges through sustainable human behavior. I would like to greet our Honorable Chairman, Dr. S.C. Vatsar. His constant support, encouragement, and blessings have been a guiding light for each one of us. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge and greet our Honorable Vice Chairman, Mr. Vineet Vatsar, respected Director General, Dr. Ashwani Kumar Sir, our Director of BTech Programs, Professor Goldie Gabrani Ma'am, Head of Department, Professor Dipali Vermani Ma'am, and Head of Center for Sustainable and Smart Future, Professor Nidhi Sharma Ma'am, all the fellow teachers, and my dear students. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome a remarkable inspiration today, Shri K. Prasanna, who will be enlightening us all with his profound knowledge and experience. To begin this event, I would like to invite all the dignitaries here for the auspicious lighting of the lamp. Now, I would like to request our Honorable Vice Chairman, Sir, to honor our Chief Guest, Shri Prasanna, Sir, with the planter. I would now like to call upon Professor Goldie Gabrani Ma'am, Director of BTech Program, to officially welcome all the dignitaries and begin this event with her enlightening words.
Hello, a very delightful morning to all. On behalf of WIPS School of Engineering and Technology, I extend my heartfelt thanks to our distinguished guest, Mr. Krishna Prasanna ji, for organizing the session and Soha exhibition at WIPS Technical Campus. My deepest gratitude to Dr. S.C. Vatsji, Honorable Chairman, WIPS Technical Campus, for always motivating us to organize such events. Vice Chairman Shri Suneet Vatsji, Vice Chairman Shri Vineet Vatsji, Vice Chairman Shri Ajay Bindalji, Director General Dr. Ashwani Sharma, Chairpersons, Dean, COO, Registrar, Principal, Faculty, Staff members, and my students who are extremely dear and precious to me. WIPS, as the premier educational institute of India, was founded by our Honorable Chairman, Dr. H.C. Vats, about 22 years ago. WIPS curates a repository of knowledge for all stakeholders working in various domains of the society. Last year, our Honorable Chairman decided to foray into engineering education with an aim to achieve excellence in the field of technical education by introducing BTech undergraduate programs in 4 streams, with a focus on preparing a future workforce needed for these technologies. Being an institute of immense repute, our mission is to align ourselves with the global mission of achieving SDGs set by UN. To assist in this endeavor, we at WIP School of Engineering and Technology have established a Center for Sustainable and Smart Future for contributing towards this mission. In September 2015, the General Assembly adopted the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development that includes 17 Sustainable Development Goals, known as SDGs. Building on the principle of leaving no one behind, the new agenda emphasizes on a holistic approach to achieving sustainable development for all. This agenda focuses on creating a development model that is sustainable for current and future generations, that offer the best path forward for reducing poverty and improving the lives of people everywhere. At the same time, climate change has started making a profound impact on the consciousness of humanity. With the polar ice caps melting, global sea levels rising, and dreadful weather events increasing in ferocity, no country in the world is safe from the effects of climate change. Building a more sustainable global economy will help reduce the greenhouse gas emissions that cause climate change. It is therefore critically important that the international community meet the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. However, the concern today is the progress is very slow in many areas. Assessments show that we are at the risk of missing the poverty eradication target. Hunger is on the rise. Progress towards gender equality and the empowerment of all women and girls is too slow. Inequalities in wealth, incomes, and opportunities are increasing in and between countries. Biodiversity loss, environmental degradation, discharge of plastic litter into the oceans, climate change, and increase in disaster risk continue at the rates that bring potentially disastrous consequences for humanity. But the action is nowhere enough to save our world from warming that will bring immense damage to the earth. The earth is still warming at an alarming rate. Millions of tons of plastic are still entering our oceans every year. Animals, plants dying at an unprecedented speed. Senior citizens lonely, both at homes and old age homes. Poor are becoming poorer. List goes on. We all know that in spite of most accurate warnings, if these unstable patterns remains unchecked, they can create havoc across the globe. Something is missing. Among our speeches, TED Talks, ads, tweets, banners, flyers, there is an area which has not been addressed properly, one which holds the key to solving the challenge of our lifetime. We have failed to change our behavior. Yes, changing our own behavior is the last thing we want to do. We have to make a major shift in the way we view the world and its systems in order to correct our course. Sustainable development and human behavior are linked. Both are vital to the present and future well-being of humanity. For instance, 2 decades ago, it would not have been possible for most of the people to mentally picture the implementation of pro-environmental behaviors in our daily lives. This is not the case anymore. Recent studies have witnessed the blooming of sustainable ways of both thinking and behaving. Accordingly, humans are encouraging the development of sustainable behaviors rather than unsustainable ones. Individuals are indeed encouraged to prevent short-term behaviors, that is, overconsumption of food, water, fuel, etc., and adopt long-term valuable goals like the preservation of environment and natural resources. Today, the focus is not to just keep on discussing between unsustainable and sustainable habits, but rather emphasis must be on how and when to implement sustainable human behaviors. Related to this aspect, another intriguing observation is that a large part of the sustainable behavior involves day-to-day lifestyle habits, such as planting trees, avoid use of single-use plastic, not wasting food, giving a listening ear to the lonely ones, generating hope, generating encouragement, spreading smiles, happiness, and so on. Most of our current approaches to sustainability fail to evoke action from the end user themselves. Hence, the necessary scale cannot be achieved to have a sufficient impact. The solution to sustainability lies in the ability to successfully change our behaviors, our collective action, driven by our thoughts and behavior, which in turn can achieve anything. A great example of behavior changing action is Tesla. Instead of spending millions of dollars on advertising, Tesla focused on making electrical vehicles beautiful and fast, breaking traditional attitudes towards electric cars. Tesla demonstrated to the world that driving a car fueled not by diesel but with electricity does not have to be painful and humiliating, but instead is comfortable and fun. With $0 spent on ad campaigns, Tesla was able to turn the whole world's perception towards electrical vehicle around, which in turn has changed countless people's behavior when it comes to buying a new car. The solution that Tesla gave was to change the human behavior of today to adopt the change. And once the behavior of the user is changed, it is hard to stop the momentum. To achieve a livable future, we need a sustainability revolution at a rate and scale that is unprecedented in the Earth's history. If we want to truly achieve this goal, we need actions. Actions on our own. Actions which put human behavior changing at the forefront. No matter how low the price per kilowatt of photovoltaic panels fall to, or how many more gigawatts of renewable energy we daily add to the grid, sustainability cannot be fully achieved without a change of behavior from humans themselves. So it is absolutely very clear that to achieve sustainability, we need to change our behavior first. The SDGs implicitly focus on sustainable human behavior as all the goals are relevant to ensure an inclusive planet that is sustainable and are achievable only through appropriate human actions. In the end, we all who are sitting here, I make sure we all make a deep promise to ourselves that we will achieve 2030 UN agenda for sustainable development through the change in our own behavior and also help others in our environment to do the same. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was indeed motivating. And it helped us realize that all of us have to be very conscious and we should inculcate a sense of responsibility to tackle these global challenges through our own sustainable human behavior. So it's the responsibility for each one of us here. Now it's the time for the screening of a short film. I would like to invite Sir.
Hi. Hello. So, good morning. I think we can wait for some time. I'll share the. Sorry, there's a slight change now. So, hi, good morning, everyone. Yeah, has everybody had breakfast? Okay. Has everybody had breakfast? I can't hear. Sorry. Okay, but thank you so much for coming in large numbers, maybe almost an hour ago. So thank you so much. Let us have an interaction now. Okay. Because we did hear Goldie ma'am talk about the fact that human behavior is very, very essential for change. And I want to ask a question. कोई भी प्रॉब्लम होता है हम दूसरों को कितना ब्लेम करते हैं? Do we blame others for any problem? Please don't lie. Can pass the mic. Anybody who blames others for the problems? एग्जाम्स हो गए, मार्क्स कम आ रहे हैं तो क्वेश्चन पेपर बहुत टफ था, प्रोफेसर्स की गलती है. सॉरी मैम. और या कोई स्पोर्ट्स में अगर हम हार गए तो नहीं, द ओपोनेंट वाज टू गुड. Do we ever like blame any other circumstance for our problems? Let's be honest. Okay, I can't hear anyone. यार नाश्ता नहीं करके आए क्या? Yeah. So I think it's a very natural tendency that we blame others for any problems, right? अगर लाइट चली गई तो नहीं सरकार की प्रॉब्लम है. अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम आ गया, न्यूज़ कोई नेगेटिव रिपोर्ट आ गई, को नहीं दिस गवर्नमेंट दैट गवर्नमेंट, लेट अस स्टार्ट आर्ग्यूइंग ऑन द सोशल मीडिया, राइट? आई थिंक इट्स अ वेरी नेचुरल रिएक्शन. But ultimately, if we look at it, and me and Vineet sir were actually discussing this today, and we can make as many rules, as many regulations as possible. हम बहुत चीज़ें बोल सकते हैं कि हमें ऐसे करना है, ऐसे करना है. We can pass on a lot of instructions, but until and unless we adopt them ourselves, we bring a semblance of order in our own lives, then we won't be able to achieve, right? That is the same with the sustainable development goals as well. Yeah. So before I move a bit further, I would just like to talk very briefly about our organization, which is Bharat Soka Gakkai. The main core of the activity is interconnectedness and dependent origination. Yeah. And in fact, we also believe that more than top-down reforms, that is government or authority to coming down, it is actually reforms which are bottom to up, which starts from ourselves, which will actually lead to a very, very great change. Yeah. So I would just like to show a presentation first. So how sustainable are we? So we've been talking about the fact that it is our behavior that can really lead to a great change, right? And it starts with very, very small actions that we take in our own daily lives. I hope everybody is able to see the presentation here. Yeah. So I'd just like to share a few interesting facts on this. So these are the reasons why we use water. Or, I mean, a different question in a college campus. Do we use water for all these things? Do we bathe every day? Okay, first college campus where I've heard this answer. Yeah. So, but yeah, of course, these are the ways we actually use water, right? Now, when we actually wash our face, we have a tendency to keep the taps open, right? And when the taps are open and we just continue keep on washing our face, 2/3 of the water is actually wasted. We only use 1/3. Yeah. And when we talk about in terms of liters, we only use 2 liters of water to wash our face while we waste 4 liters. And when we actually multiply it with, say, our family members and, for example, the number of people in the campus, and then so on and so forth to countries and communities, it is huge wastage. So just imagine, just a small act of turning off the tap while we are washing the face will actually lead to a great, saving of water on a very, very large scale, right? So who will actually do that? It has to consciously start from within our own lives. Yeah, it has to consciously start from one person, which is us. Yeah. Now, during while taking a shower, we actually use 80 to 90 liters as compared to using a bucket of water. है ना? I think the bathing is still efficient. The 80 to 90 liters is actually a waste. Yeah. So we save around 60 liters there. Now, do we all wash our hands now, especially since COVID came regularly? So when we do it once, दिन में 4-5 बारी तो करते ही होंगे हम, है ना? So when we wash our hands, when we apply the soap and we turn the taps off, we only use 2 liters for washing. But when the taps are continuously on, then we use 4 liters. When we do it 5 times a day, the maths is very clear, 10 and 20. When it's a family of 5 members, of course these numbers will be very huge considering we are in a university campus here. But it's almost half. Yep. So just one trivia, is single-use plastic banned or is it still on? It's banned, right? So that is one step which has been taken now. But there are other forms of plastic waste as well. So one is plastic bags, of course, there. The toothbrush that we use, of course, is made of a plastic frame, a plastic bottle and a toothpaste. So, of course, now the situation has changed for vegetable shopping. So maybe the faculty can actually share a bit more about it, can relate a bit more to it. So an individual actually gets home at least 10 plastic bags in a week. You know? Maybe there are a few stalls where you do get plastic bags, even though it has been banned, but which again shows the importance of each person's action here. And in a month when it's about 40 to 50 bags, 500 in 1 year, and then just multiplied by the population that we have. So what is the alternate if we carry our own cloth bags or jute bags? Yeah. So similarly on a toothbrush, do we all use about 5 to 6 toothbrushes or एक ही में पूरा साल चलाते हैं? I'm asking this especially for the college campus. Okay. Yeah, anyone would like to say? Yeah. 2 to 3. Yeah. Right. So just multiplied by the number of years that we can actually live, assuming it's 80, right? So around 480 or 240 for that matter. And then when you multiply it by the population, that's the amount of plastic waste that is generated. So we can either go back to something called a datun. I don't know how many of us have heard of it. Or we can use a bamboo toothbrush. Yeah. So let us really kind of reflect in our own lives on what are the small steps that we can take. Now, I would just like to share another example in terms of saving electricity. I think many of us have the tendency to plug in our charger on the laptop while working, right? But if we actually remove it and we use it for the entire battery, we actually see that even the battery lasts longer. So one action actually has 2 or 3 effects. Yeah. So ultimately that change actually starts with each one of us. Yeah. And when we go to the exhibition today, we'll actually see one of the major themes of the exhibition is that it starts with one. It starts with one initiative, one community, one individual, right? So can I be that one person? Let us always kind of constantly reflect on this and think of that large-scale impact that each one of our little actions actually has. Yeah, is it okay? I don't think it's okay, is it? Right. So when we go to the exhibition again, many times do we also feel powerless कि यार मेरे action से क्या होगा? Do we feel like that? Okay. Yeah, so when we actually go through the exhibition, we can actually relate to the fact that it just requires a small shift of our own heart. Yeah, so I mean, no matter what the consequences, let us just take that one action. Because that will actually start creating a ripple effect and a change in the broader scale. Starting from within my own life, to my own family, and to this campus, and then to the larger community. Yeah. So I wanted to share this, and I also want to thank all the students who will be presenting the panels today. So one round of applause for all of them. So with this, I would just like to move a bit further, and if there are any questions or suggestions which any of you have, please share. Anyone? Or questions? यार सब बोर हो गए क्या? Yeah.
Students are saying that we don't get that feeling that yes, I can make that change. That I am the one who can, from whom this change can start. So how do these students, our students, they overcome this feeling? How they get confident of this I can bring that change?
So thank you for the question. So I'll just refer to one of the panels which we'll be watching through today, right? What it essentially requires is a change of heart. Yeah. I mean, just being very stubborn in that one decision. Because there are many thoughts that come, right? यार if I do something like this, लोग क्या सोचेंगे? यार इनको मैं कैसे समझाऊंगा? These are questions which are very natural, and these are doubts which are very natural, right? But ultimately, let us just start thinking of how my action will lead to a big change, right? If we think of that implication or that action, right? If I switch off the lights, just to take a very small example here, if I do switch off the lights, then will that actually create a great change? If the answer to that is yes, if I'm convinced, I have that conviction, right? Then it's okay. It just requires that shift, that yes, I have to just go and do it. We have to tell ourselves constantly, we have to remind ourselves on this. But it ultimately starts with the shift within my own life. Yeah. And that is how SDGs can be achieved as well. Yeah.
Hello, sir. I'm Kritika Mittal from AIMLE.
Yeah.
So I want to ask, what if the change we are trying to bring is in negative direction? It eventually works out to be in negative direction. What to do?
So very good question once again. So that is why we always have a huge support network around us, right? You are in a beautiful campus. You have such wonderful faculty as well. Right, so you can always go back to that one faculty or that one friend whom you are absolutely convinced about that yes, they'll really help you. So you can always really reach out and discuss. Right, so when it starts with one, it also starts with one collaboration or one dialogue. Yeah. Ultimately, like the exhibition also talks about interconnectedness. All of us are connected. So if I can just have that one friend or that one senior whom I can really speak to and discuss a bit if I have doubts there, that will really help. Yeah.
Sir, I am from AIDSA. I would like to ask you, sir, like SDGs are theory in reality. For example, the solar energy was implemented all over the world because it became cheaper than the coal. So how, like you have been in this profession, how have you seen that the SDGs are implemented in a practical way? Like what kind of thinking does the people have so that they are able to implement a theoretical concept like sustainable development goals into a practical concept?
Yeah, so I would just like to take one example on this, and there's an example that we'll also see in the exhibition panels. So there is a lighting entrepreneur named Sajid Iqbal from Bangladesh. So he was growing up in a town called Sylhet in Bangladesh, where there were frequent power supplies and power cuts. Yeah, and factories were using a lot of electricity during the day. So he just devised a solution there, and he started manufacturing lights using plastic-filled water bottles and also solar energy, like the example that you just took. Yeah. He actually says, and that is how he was able to create a great solution for people around. Yeah. But his fundamental idea, which he himself says is, nothing is impossible if I'm very, very convinced and I'm passionate and dedicated about that cause that I really believe about. So ultimately, it did start with that one person there, right? Because he wanted to create a change. Incidentally, his organization's name is also Change there. And because he had that one thought in his mind, it started just with that one thought. And similarly, to take an example from India, so there is a man who is known as the water catcher. He's based out of Rajasthan. His name is Rajesh Singh. I think Rajesh Singh or Rakesh Singh. So he actually started doing rainwater harvesting in Rajasthan there because he wanted to preserve and save water. He started devising solutions in the desert for that. You can read more about him as well. It ultimately starts with that one idea.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I am Yash from AIML. Sir, my question is, as a student, I feel like I am a really small part of this world. And SDGs looks like something that should be done in a group and a huge quantity. So how as a student I can contribute right now?
So any particular SDG that you have in mind?
Sir, let's take, I am saving water by closing the tap while brushing. So I am just saving 1 or 2 liters. How is that gonna affect the whole goal of having renewable water sources and everything?
Who's the next person you can tell this about? Importance of saving water.
People that are right now besides me.
Right next to you, right? So it actually starts with that one dialogue, right? Because of course one thing is we learn about the SDGs on a daily basis and we might just get a bit boggled कि इतने सारे SDGs हैं कैसे हम इसको achieve करेंगे इतनी जल्दी, right? But if I can just focus on that one action which I have in front of me, for in your example, it's the closing the water tap, or for that matter, switching off the electricity lights, right? And when I look at someone immediate, one friend right next to me, or one of my family members to whom I can actually share the importance, that is how this ripple effect actually grows there. Right? Because ultimately that is what is under your control also, right? Yeah. I hope it answers. Thank you.
Sir, I am Yash from AIDSA. I would like to add one suggestion that as a student we can contribute in sustainable development. Like from our stationery items we can start changing ourselves. Like we can use reusable products in our stationery items, like refillable pens and wooden rulers and etc., which will lead to reduce of plastic use.
Thank you so much for the suggestion. Can we have a huge round of applause for that? Brilliant idea. So in fact, based on this, there is actually another suggestion. I mean, when you have such ideas, what I would actually like to say is please keep on sharing with each other, right? Because when we keep on sharing, someone else might also get some other idea. Yeah. So, and ultimately it just starts with that one conversation. Yeah. Now, if you want to practically track your actions as well, okay, there's one more question here.
Good morning, sir. I am Ananya from AIML. I want to ask, like, if I'm doing something to help one species, but in return it is harming the other species, Like, would it be leading towards the sustainable life we are hoping for?
Are you taking a specific example on this? I want to understand.
Right now I don't have an example, but like water हम use करते जा रहे हैं and maybe हम उसे pollute भी करते हैं, which is not a good thing. But water species के लिए तो वो अच्छी चीज़ नहीं है, but humans के लिए तो एक वो requirement है ना.
इसमें बस एक चीज़ ऐड करना चाहूँगा, right? Because we are human beings, I think we can actually agree on this. Many times we don't know where to stop. We actually consume more than what is required, right? So you might be, to take an example of say a factory, water flow comes in, but after a point we might actually see that there is just overflow of water. है ना, हमारी requirement तो पूरी हो गई, but we don't stop. In fact, one of the panels also talks about the fact that root cause of any problem is selfishness. Greed and selfishness, absolutely true, right? And which is why we have to actually be much more evolved and advanced in our own ways. We actually need to know where to stop also. Yeah. And we'll also agree on this that human beings are much more evolved and advanced compared to all the other species, right? So, which is why it becomes our responsibility also to be very, very conscious and active that way. Yeah, I hope it answers. Thank you. Yeah.
Sir, I am Pushpinder from AIDSA. Sir, I want to ask that as a student, how can we inculcate sustainable behavior in our lives?
Good question. Thank you so much for really asking. So to take examples of sustainable human behavior, it is by really being conscious within our own lives first, right? If I do, let me really start looking around on what is that one thing that I can change within my own life. To take an example, of food. If we have been wasting food when we are ordering something from a restaurant, I think the first step would be okay, let me order less portions while I'm eating there. Yeah. Similarly, if I just keep the lights open and I look at it and I realize, okay, ये गलत काम है, मुझे इसको change करना है. Let me take conscious action that way. Yeah. That is the only way, that's the short way in which we can adopt sustainable human behavior in our lives. Yeah.
Sir, I have one query. We usually see that we don't consider mental health as a SDG, because and I think that mental health should be one of the SDGs so that people can live in harmony, a good life. In my views, people should have mental health and should have a prosperous life. So I want to ask why we don't consider having no stress and no depression in our SDG goals.
So I would just like to correct you on this. SDG 3, good health and well-being, actually covers mental health as well on this. One of the targets or one of the facts is how the stress and depression related diseases have actually risen in the past few years, and what are the ways in which that can be combated. So when we talk about SDG 3, good health and well-being, so the well-being aspect is also there, right? So mental health is a huge part of it on that.
Sir, this guy has shared his view that we should use a renewable resource. So, अगर हम normal markets में जाते हैं, we see like organic plants and renewable things are a bit expensive than the original product. So people tends to get for the cheaper product. So sir, what we can do to get that thing a bit cheaper and in a better way कि हर किसी के पास वही use करे. जैसे सर हम spoons का example लेते हैं. Sir आजकल if we go to market, we see like we get plastic spoons. Instead of that we can get edible spoons आते हैं, हमारे पास wooden spoons आते हैं. So why we don't use that? हम उल्टा अभी तक हम लोग primitive method of we are using plastic spoons only. So what can be the transition, how that transition could be made?
So one thing, again, I would just like to share an example on this. How many of us order from Zomato? Please raise your hands, everyone. So the cutlery that does come with it, the spoons, have they started changing now from before? Right? So I think the same is with Swiggy. I don't order a lot of Swiggy, but so I mean these are the small ways one entity or one unit is taking change. And when we are using something, right? So maybe with our near and dear ones, if somebody is using plastic, then maybe we can just share that one dangerous fact about plastic that will really encourage them to stop using the plastic cutlery there. Yeah. It ultimately boils down to any one initiative or one word or one dialogue that we have with another person. So like you can see, Zomato has started making that change, and many other restaurants have also started making that change, right? So ultimately it does start with one. Yeah.
So,
There's one here as well. Okay.
sir, if I am aware about the sustainable development things, how can I motivate or uh, uh, inspire others to follow that?
So there is a threefold formula in the exhibition which we are going through. I'd just like to digress a bit and share. It is learn, reflect and empower. Learn, reflect, empower, act and lead. Okay. So of course to know about sustainable development goals, we do need to know the facts, right? Like you said, you are aware of many sustainable development goals, right? Now if I just learn and then I just start throwing the facts away, then nobody will listen, right? Can I reflect in my own life and start taking action so that I can share a more concrete example with people around me, right? And when if I can share a more concrete example and if people look at my actions, which is act and lead, then that change will start slowly but surely, but it will happen. Yeah.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर सर आई एम सेम शर्मा फ्रॉम AIDSB सर हम आजकल देख रहे हैं जो हमारे मोस्टली जितने भी व्हीकल्स हैं जितनी भी चीज़ें वो सारी इलेक्ट्रिक में कन्वर्ट होती जा रही हैं जो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेट करने के लिए हम मोस्टली हम कोयल्स का यूज़ करते हैं सर सोलर पैनल्स और हाइड्रो इलेक्ट्रिक जनरेटर्स की बजाय हम मोस्टली कोयल्स पे फोकस कर रहे हैं तो सर क्या वो वाकई में सर बेनिफिट है उसका कुछ क्योंकि सर हम कोयल्स का ज़्यादा यूज़ कर रहे हैं उसमें क्योंकि वो ज़्यादा चीप है
I would say two things first. A, because I don't have a science background, I can't answer how sustainable it will be in the long run, except for saying that it is more sustainable than the non-renewable sources that we have. Second thing, from the kind of awareness that I have about electric vehicles, I think more and more technologies are actually kind of being evolved. Electric vehicles पहले चलाने के लिए भी बहुत मुश्किल होते थे, है ना? Now you are actually looking at cars जो on road price है, it's much closer to the normal petrol and diesel vehicles, maybe slightly higher, right? So it is again a very evolving field, and let's really hope that they are completely sustainable and everything we are able to really generate a lot of electricity without wasting or without damaging the environment there. That's the only thing I would like to share. Thank you.
Hello sir, my name is Ayush. I am from AIDSA. Sir, my question is, what are the countermeasures that you will take if you are unable to fulfill the SDG goals by 2030?
Good question that, thank you. So 2030 is something which UN has fixed for the sustainable development goals. But I don't think it's just an end goal there. Once we have achieved the goals, it doesn't mean that we go back to our unsustainable behaviors. It will be a constant and an ongoing process. It doesn't stop at 2030. And that is what the UN has also mentioned many times in many reports, right? 2030 is just one milestone, but it just has to keep on flowing forward there. And the key to that will be to both the things, whether we will completely achieve the goals by 2030 and whether it will be ongoing, and more importantly, whether it will be ongoing depends on each one of our actions. Again. Yeah. So I think there are a few more examples which we can all consciously do, right? Do we eat in the mess or do we order outside many times? Okay, you can be honest with the mess because I've also stayed in a hostel for 5 years. Is there food wastage in the mess? A lot? Sorry? Any ways to counter that?
People can schedule if they want to eat or not. I mean, this time people, they order from outside because we have ordering options. So they can tell previously that they'll be having food or not. Beforehand, they can inform.
Good suggestion. Right, so again, taking such conscious examples, or even if there is wastage, can I use it in a better way? Can I?
Yes, sir.
Food camp can be done. The wasted food can also be used as manure or compost in a composting pit as well. That's another suggestion there. And similarly, yes, food camp. That's the suggestion that came there. And another example, do we all play sports? Do we have proper grounds to play the sport or do we just go to any garden or park? Okay, I think it's both. Can I be more mindful of protecting the plants in wherever I'm playing? So these are small and some examples or some ways in which we can be very, very aware and conscious. Right? Can we all take that one action starting from today? Yeah? So, yeah, thank you so much. That's all that I wanted to share. Yeah, back to you, ma'am. So I would also like to share a small video about what is sustainable human behavior. It's just a minute long. Thank you for your patience again.
In response to the increasing challenges in this complex world, the United Nations has proposed 17 Sustainable Development Goals, the 17 SDGs. President Ikeda is an ardent supporter of the United Nations and also is a strong advocate of the SDGs. So in the year 2021, BSG launched a new initiative called BSG for SDG. Under this initiative, BSG's endeavor is to really cherish each life with the spirit of leaving no one behind. This spirit is the core spirit of the SDGs. We in BSG believe that we can certainly achieve the SDGs by 2030 through sustainable human behavior. Sustainable human behavior is something which we need to practice in our day-to-day lives, whether it is conserving water or energy at home as part of our daily usage, or whether it is avoiding waste, composting all waste at home, or it is planting a tree, or just talking nice to your neighbors, or paying fair wages to the people who work for you, or just hoping and praying for the happiness of all the people in this world. Everything comes under sustainable human behavior. And we are confident that the baby steps our members are taking in this regard, in the sustainable human behavior, will definitely help us to achieve the SDGs by 2030.
Thank you.
For the past 14 years. It's an Indian affiliate of Soka Gakkai International, a global association of grassroots organizations that seek to promote peace. Sir is a graduate from National Law University, Lucknow, and prior to joining BSG, he was practicing advocate before various judicial forums in India. He's also a graded artist in Hindustani classical vocal music with the All India Radio, Delhi. So thank you so much, sir, for taking out the time and sharing such great knowledge and experiences with us. So we will try to make a constant effort to cultivate these learnings in our real life. We would really like to applaud the efforts that you've been making over the years to bring a change in the society. So a big round of applause for sir. Finally, as an appreciation for Sri Prasanna sir for the valuable input he has shared with all of us, we would like to invite respected DG sir and Professor Goldie Gibrani ma'am to present a small memento as a token of appreciation. Now, we have reached the concluding part of this knowledgeable and enriching event. And I would like to request Professor Nidhi Sharma ma'am to propose a vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Mudita. A very happy afternoon to one and all present here. It is my privilege to propose a vote of thanks on the momentous and enriching occasion of workshop to be followed by exhibition on Seeds of Hope and Action, making SDG a reality through the lens of sustainable human behavior. This workshop and exhibition has been organized as a joint initiative of BSG, that is Bharat Soka Gakkai, an Indian affiliate of SGI, Earth Charter and School of Engineering and Technology, WIPS Technical Campus. Sri Prasanna has shared in his talk a short movie about the behavior. It was indeed a thought-provoking and as well as a lively interactive session, as we plan to steer towards meeting sustainable development goals set by United Nations. Now it has become an individual's responsibility also to work towards achieving sustainability through lifestyle changes. Now our Center for Sustainable and Smart Future aims to promote sense of involvement and initiative in each and every student. I would like to thank our speaker for enlightening the gathering. Thank you, Mr. Prasanna. I would also like to extend my profound thanks to Honorable Board of Management, starting with Honorable Chairman, sir. I extend a hearty vote of thanks to Honorable Vice Chairman, sir, Vineet Vats, sir, for always supporting us in our positive endeavors in each and every possible way. Thank you so much, sir. Further, my thank is also due to respected Director General, sir, for his guidance and appreciation. I would also like to thank our Director, Professor Dr. Goldie Gibrani, for initiating this event and for her consistent guidance in each and every aspect of planning of the event. A special token of appreciation is due to Professor Dipali Virmani ma'am, HOD BTech program, for his enthusiastic support in conduction of event. I would like to thank Ms. Prachi, Public Relation Officer of WIPS Technical Campus, for her support and guidance. Special thank is due to faculty members, especially Dr. Mudita, Dr. Archa, Dr. Deepak, Dr. Navneet, for conduction of the event, and to all the other faculty members also. My heartfelt thanks to Harsha, Swati and Rahul for their technical and strategic support. A special mention to the student coordinators of Team Srijan for your enthusiastic participation for the past 15 days. You are planning this event. This program could not have been coordinated without your close coordination. And also to Team Kalakriti for their artistic inputs. My thanks is due to all the faculty members and the staff for their tireless support in organizing this workshop and thereafter the exhibition. Last but not the least, I am thankful to all the attendees. With their presence, they have made this workshop more vibrant and productive. Thank you everyone. Have a nice day. Students may now visit the exhibition on the first floor as per their schedule, shared by Professor Dipali. Thank you.